Alright, hello and welcome. Today, I'm casting a 4v4 in the unranked auto match. Yeah, let's get into it, see how it goes. Literally don't even remember what I'm playing today. If I had to guess, it's probably the Wehrmacht. And it is, in fact. Cool. So we've got 3 Wehrmacht and an Africa Corps playing against 2 British, 2 US. Wow, words are hard. Okay, it's early. That's a lie, I've been up for 8 hours. But anyhow, no idea what map this is because the organization of Company of Heroes 3 loading screens is absolutely brutal. Thanks, Relic. Oh yeah, this was before I really knew what I was doing with with anyone really. So, and I was literally just trying out different battle groups. So it looks like we took the Luftwaffe. For some reason, we're building a recon vehicle, which, I mean, sure, like, awesome for like early capture points, but kind of just a brutal game piece after the first like 3 minutes of the match. But we'll see if we do anything meaningful with it. We probably don't, because again, this was, I think I recorded this a couple weeks ago, so it's a little bit rough.
They won't even know it's missing.
So we've got our recon vehicle out. No idea what our allies are doing. Looks like we've got 2 paradrops, one from myself on our victory points in the north, and then one from our ally on a gas point in the south. And now in hindsight, you know, looking back, I think it's far more meaningful to capture resource points early on than it is to capture victory points. Just because I think getting the edge up on your opponent in terms of early resource capture is like really meaningful. Obviously coupled with good trades in the early game. So you can see our recce vehicle is taking our central defensive points, and we're just grabbing as many resource points as we can now. I think this, I can't remember, this is a 15-minute game. I can't remember if we won or lost this, honestly, so we're going to learn together, chat. This will be a fun time. So, okay. So we back off this point here. Do we back off this point? Okay, we just get a little bit high just to try and force them out of the cover. Is this before I knew that recce vehicles don't have machine guns? That's the real question. Okay, so we get the point, pull these guys back, get these guys up. Literally doing nothing useful with my recce vehicle. No clue what's going on with my allies, because we're locked in Mortal Kombat with these Pathfinders here. Tried to repair the Pathfinders because I had no idea what my buttons do with the Wehrmacht, but great times. Okay, so you can see we're just having a grand old time. Our micro is very poor. And the second we see this machine gun, we're like, okay, let's just leave. You guys can have that point, I don't care. Looks like we brought out our own machine gun team. Yeah, so we're just going to play machine gun versus machine gun. Why not? Sounds like a fun time. We bring it up to our front line, and we start getting some Panzer Grenadiers. So as you can see, my micro, absolutely brutal. Really not paying attention to anything that's going on, and just letting my recce vehicle die miserably. If I were to get a recon vehicle as the Wehrmachts nowadays, I would probably be going like behind enemy lines and just trying to cut off their supply early game, especially if they're trying to commit units to the front line. But yeah, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. So we're just trying to build up a defensive position here, because we know we're like absolutely fucked if we try to push the MG there. So you can see they've got their Pathfinders getting on the point. We're trying to bring the MG up just so that we can maybe try and get some well, I literally don't even know what I'm doing here. Maybe try and get some coverage over that munitions point. As it would be nice to maintain the advantage on capture points. Just keep getting our munitions in. So we're bringing in the light company here. Maybe get some Jaggers up. Probably my favorite unit. I know I always watch Turnstream, and he absolutely hates bazookas. Maybe he's grown on them recently, but my experience is always complaining about bazookas. Personally, I love foot anti-tank infantry. Probably just because they're like noob friendly. It's a lot harder to lose those units than it is to lose a vehicle. Just because they're infantry generally, unless you're getting absolutely stacked by enemy infantry, you have time to react, pull them back, get them reinforced. Whereas with vehicles, it's like one wrong move and your vehicle's dead. They're also less of a commitment early on. Like, you don't have to spend tons of munitions to get Jaegers. You're just looking at your general manpower, which is really nice. So we got a range there with the Pathfinders. Looks like our allies bringing in more airborne. We have a clear advantage here. We're clearly dominating the map on all fronts. We have 2 out of the 3 victory points. And our opponents are playing really passive here. So we're going to get some orders. Basically just going to give us the opportunity to put some pressure on them, at least on their like front defensive line. Ooh, they pulled up the machine gun, so now we get some machine gun on machine gun action. And the second we see that that machine gun is engaged, we start pulling up all our units, because you can only shoot it one at a time, right? And I do kind of a poor job here. I've got multiple units like stacked on top of each other, which means the suppression is gonna fuck all of them. But now we're getting aggressive, right? We wanna fuck these guys up. The machine gun's got 1 guy left, so they've got no support. If we could wipe the machine gun, that'd be great. I don't know why he hasn't pulled it back. I think this guy's kind of relatively new. But there you go, he smartened up there. He was like, I am literally going to lose this machine gun. He just manages to get it back. I was far more focused on the infantry than on the machine gun. I probably should have been focused on the machine gun there, but it will get away. And yeah, we just keep fighting the good fight. Brought our machine gun up a little bit further, just to give us a little bit more support. And we're going to try and pull the points and destroy that defensive position that he's building there. So this is me literally not knowing what any of the buildings do. Still early on. So we're pulling these guys back. We've got enough pioneers, or what are these guys called? Jaeger pioneers or something, to deal with those Pathfinders. Pathfinders they're great for early point capture, but and for reconnaissance, but absolute garbage in combat. So, with the exception of if you utilize munitions, which my opponent did not. So you can see that they've got another MG, and they're just hammering us with artillery. So we're gonna just try and maintain our defensive position. We've got minimal units now, because everything has to go back and reinforce. So this is kind of a scary position for us to be in. But again, our allies are still holding strong down on the south side of the map. So myself and my buddy up north are just trying to keep our shit together. So we're gonna bring in some Jaegers. We're most certainly gonna upgrade them with the anti-tank weapons, because Panzer Jaegers are just absolutely sexy. We do start to see that our ally is getting a little bit messed up, so we are gonna try and put some pressure on some of those machine gun emplacements. And now that we've got our boys reinforced, we'll bring them back up to deal with, kind of do whatever we need to do. We're really, like, I'm a very reactive player, and I'm playing very defensive here. Mostly because we have 2 out of 3 points, and they don't really have much chance of taking those 2 points, so we're just kind of hanging out and seeing where we're needed. So you can see we bring up our boys with the upgraded machine gun now into the back of the machine gun. This is like a classic case of overextension, where they bring up an important weapons team and leave it susceptible to being flanked quite easily too, because it's kind of like maybe that was the top player and they just didn't realize that I had literally all my units and my entire defensive line literally 10 feet away from him. So, yeah, our lane buddy brings in a sniper. Very frustrating. So you can see he's going to start tearing us down. We're going to get the mortars to try and put some damage on those bastards, because snipers are cunts and deserve to die. I have no vehicles. I don't have mass infantry support, so I can't really put that much pressure on that sniper right now, unfortunately. So you can see we're bringing in a vehicle depot. The MG is just being a total boss, despite their sniper. But they're counterplaying us pretty hard. They have a very good MG position. And despite our artillery, they just have way more units. So we're pulling back our pioneers, and and pulling up our infantry squads. And so we're going to try and get essentially as much of a line or as much of a widespread as we can, just to prevent ourselves from getting flanked and provide some advantageous positioning if the enemy just brings up all their units. So you can see they've got the MG up. We're trying to get a AA emplacement here, and we are trying to throw a nade here. If you're in grenade range of an MG, it's just brutal. Like, MGs require like upwards of 3 seconds to actually take down their weapon and run away, and so you can just absolutely demolish them. So, I mean, they just completely ruined their adventure. This is literally the second case of just an absolute overextend. We juked their nades. We've got artillery fire. We're just trying to push this sniper because he's an absolute cunt, and I just want him dead. I'm not really wasting resources on... oh, he ran him away, which was smart. We're not really wasting resources on vehicles here. We're just trying to maintain our positional advantage. Honestly, snipers are really good at hashing out infantry defensive positions. But unless, like, they need so much support to be useful outside of that. Like, I feel like they are, I don't want to say niche, but they definitely require, like, a lot of tactical intelligence. You can see that I'm an absolute potato, literally not spending my command points whatsoever here. I'm just kind of busy trying to set up and take the munitions point. At this point, I don't even think I realized that I'm not even capturing the munitions point, which is a huge faux pas. We'd probably have it now and have some extra munitions for the team if we did, but unfortunately, I'm a potato. And I finally realized it, and I decided to pick the unit that's like as far away as humanly possible. And then, because I decide to build an emplacement, they're no longer grabbing the points, and unfortunately, I get distracted by the bazooka squad. Okay, so here's another classic faux pas. Bazookas, like, these anti-tank squads should never be your front line. These guys should be sitting behind your infantry, and they really should just be a supporting element, with the exception being if a tank shows up. Then you push them up, just have them start putting as much damage as possible, but outside of that, they're really not necessary. So you can see we've run in our carrier. We haven't upgraded it yet to a medical conversion because it's got the MG right now and it's some good fire support. And so we really just want to, yeah, I really like sandbags. We really just want to kind of reinforce some of our squads here. Never mind, we're just going to go straight for that medical conversion. I mean, I guess we're getting close to the point where armor's going to start showing up, so I think we'd rather have medical than an MG at that point. So our Jaegers are finally going to take the fucking munitions point. It's only been like 15 minutes, so really don't worry about it, guys. We've got complete domination of the map, so we're going to win this resoundingly. We still haven't spent any of our command points because we're potatoes, but we really don't want a defensive position from our enemy here. So you can see they're starting to push us, and we're just going to try and kind of do as much work as we can. We did not juke this grenade, unfortunately. 2 guys got turned into pink mist, but we did get a successful juke on that one. I mean, you know, success is subjective, but we didn't lose more than 1, so I'll take it. And the sniper's back, so we're just trying to keep our boys alive. They've got a lot of dudes there, so we're going to start putting the pressure on them. We do have keep in mind we do have the AA gun, so the second they basically cross those sandbags, they're just going to have the worst time of their life.
That was a sniper! Where the fuck was he?
25 points remain. The enemy cannot withstand us.
Where the fuck was he?
Here comes the again. Just immediate pin, like the amount of suppression coming from that is just absolutely wild. So I didn't even bother moving my MG here because we were getting reinforced by the gun. They have absolutely no anti-vehicle, and if we had kept that fight up, we would have just let that sniper sit there and shoot people because they'd be coming back faster than he could kill the unit. So you can see things went okay for us. We really didn't get triggered this much. These guys were probably hacking. That's like fucking wild. But yeah, there was like really nothing for us to do in that game. We kind of just got carried by our 2 hackers here. Yeah, and I mean, you know, we did have a couple of kind of negative negative play factors like the loss of manpower and losing fuel, and with the loss of our early game vehicles and stuff like that. But overall, a very chill, yeah, very easy win. So GG, well played, everyone.